Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Anna. I'm an aspiring author and a mother, and I work full-time, and I'm a student, and this is where I talk about all of that. I try to get a lot of writing in where I can, and I'm currently at work, and I thought that this would be a really good time to start a new vlog. I've currently finished all of my homework for the weekend, or for the week, which means that I have a couple of days to get as much writing in as I possibly can. This weekend will be a lot of me trying to basically just fit in as much writing as I possibly can. I'm at work, but nobody's in the house right now. Literally everybody's gone, which is always a good day. About an hour until my shift ends, and I would like to use that wisely. If you're new here, I'm currently working on writing / revising at the same time this witchy story that I've been working on for about 3 years now, almost 4. Currently in the process of trying to finish drafting all of the little bits and pieces in between the larger pieces that I have already written, and finagling all of them into place. I did a really good job of writing all of the things that I was inspired to write previously, and I have also worked a lot on putting all of these pieces into the place that they belong, because this is a very complicated story. It's probably not as complicated as I'm making it sound, but in my head it's very complicated because I'm so close to it. And now I'm working on getting all of those pieces in their proper order and doing the drudgery of connecting them together via exposition, actual events, that kind of thing. I'm gonna go open up my laptop and get to writing, or at least get to like work focusing on the story. The writing kind of comes back and forth. Writing kind of happens as I need it to, and I actually write in between moving things around to connect them together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get started on that, and then I'll just write all the way up until I have to leave. I've got all of my paperwork already done, and there's nothing else for me to do work-wise other than be a warm body here right now. So the goal is ultimately to just make this a really productive weekend. A little side note, we have officially shifted from summertime to autumn. It's not even, we haven't even officially gone to fall yet, but we are in interior Alaska and it happens early here. So we've got yellowing leaves, we've got drizzly skies, clouds, and wind, and it's very vibey, and I love it. I do want to show you how I've been sort of compartmentalizing things in my brain, just so that I know what's actually done and what's not. So I have multiple points of view, and I have to actually break them down into, like, you know, the past and stuff. But the other night, I realized that I was just having such a hard time. I was having such a hard time figuring out what was done, what needed to be done, to what level they were done, because there are some that are like, yes, this is completely done and this is the order that these need to go in order for the story to make sense, even with the perspectives being, or the points of view being, so different. But I also needed to know which ones were like they're where they belong, but the story's not complete. The story is complete, but I'm still not sure where it goes. And so I've figured out a way to sort of tell myself that at a glance. And I'm working through not just labeling them, but as I've been labeling, I've also been reading through the different spots. And based off of how I figured out the end needs to be, I've actually taken the ending and I've been able to sort of mesh the other things together in the way that they need to be, in a way that makes sense for the end of the story. There's still some things that I'm trying to figure out. Like, at one point I had the points of view, I have one character whose point of view doesn't start until the second half of the story, and so part of it I kind of wanted to have more beginning heavy, but then I didn't really like the way that that was playing out with the information and with the events that happened. I realized that I needed to elongate those and weave them into the perspectives at the end of the story. And so I've started doing that. But here, let me show you what's actually going on. So up here, obviously I have I've got some of these labeled, and I'll end up labeling these as well. But the main thing is these. If they have a star, they are completely done. They are set. I don't know why it's not focusing. They are set. That's where they need to be and what they need to be. That's not necessarily that they're completely written, because there's definitely stuff in there that's going to need to change, and actually be drafted. But down here you'll see that I've got some actual frowny and smiley faces and stuff like that, and that just means that these are not written. They've got like a tiny, actually this one's not, there's literally nothing in this scene yet, because I'm not even sure what's going to go in there. Now this one is a smiley face because I know exactly what goes there, what's in there, why it's there. It's satisfactorily complete. It just might not be in the right position. The ones with the frowny faces are like just not done at all. They might have like a snippet of something that needs to be written. You know, I'll get there when I get there. I also needed a way to, again, at a glance, see what was happening in which scene, like what the big reveal was or what the big event was. And I needed to do that for all three perspectives. So I've literally just made a chart here. I've made a chart and it's got a line of numbers, and then it's got the 3 names up top and 3 columns, so that I think I've got like 19 scenes, and haven't started at the beginning. There's definitely a lot more than 19 scenes. I haven't started at the beginning, but I have made it to where I've started at a certain point to where everything really gets fuzzy. So I've got the end that's mostly figured out, and I've figured out where the scenes need to lie, but where I've got like from a certain point to the end, that's figured out, but then I've got the beginning up into a certain point, and then that point, all of that is figured out, and then the point that ends and then the point where it begins again are not figured out. Using this, I'm able to actually see what needs to go where and what information is missing, and it's been really helpful. It's helped me move along a lot faster. Hi guys. Okay, so lots has gone on today. It's been pretty great actually. So I think I've decided to do a sort of challenge so that I can actually finish the first draft of this novel. It's driving me nuts. I want to get it done. And so what I'm going to do is gonna do my friend called it a nano no mo. Because obviously nano is no longer a thing, but my friend's been doing nano, and she has successfully done nano for like the last 20 years. And so not doing something in this coming November is kind of killing her soul a little bit. And she was gonna do something anyway, and so it's like, all right, I will use this as an opportunity to sort of hopefully motivate myself to actually complete this draft. That's gonna happen. What I've been kind of doing to prepare for it, and I still have several months, I'm still gonna be working through a lot of the stuff. I'm gonna be drafting up until up until it starts. It's not like I'm really changing everything. I'm just using November as a finishing point, as the deadline. What I have been doing, I showed you guys just a couple days ago about the system that I've been using on Scrivener, where it's got all of the chapter headings and everything. Basically like a really quick, at a glance, this chapter is done, this chapter is done, this one's written but not great, this one's plotted but not written, that kind of thing. Was making it really difficult to see things at a glance where they are in relation to the actual story. Like where a different perspective comes in, where a different event comes in, that kind of thing, where she realizes different things. And especially since there are 3 separate points of view, I needed something to be able to show how it's all fitting together. Got all of the chapters. There are 45 tentative chapters, but I'm going to fit everything in within those chapters. If I have to make another one or delete some, I'll do that when the time comes, but right now I'm just gonna fit it in the template of 45 chapters because that's what feels right for this story. So I've made that template. I've labeled each chapter. It's got 4 rows, 4 columns, one with just the chapter heading, and then one for each person's point of view. And each chapter has the specific scenes that are going into it. And it's actually helping my brain. Up until this point, I've really had a hard time figuring out where things go. And it's actually really helping me to do that. I've been able to organize things in the way that they need to be organized. I've already seen a lot of holes in the plot and filled those, and they'll be filled when I actually go to draft and everything. So right now I'm really just doing that. And like I said, I will continue to draft over the course of the next several months until the end of Nano, but Nano is my final, or the end of November, I should say. The end of November is my official deadline, and I think I can actually hit it. And that'll be nice because it'll give me sort of a month to revise anything that I think needs to be revised, and then I can officially hand it off to my husband and my writing group, and that'll be pretty fantastic. It'll be really, really exciting. However, I'm sure you've noticed I'm a little bit off the wall today. This is something that I started this morning. And I worked really well through it, but I'm getting my very first tattoo on Monday, and it's been a long time coming. I set the appointment a couple of months ago, which was both a good thing and a bad thing. I won't really get into it. I just, it's been this entire week. I'm really keyed up and really excited, and I just can't focus on the story anymore. So I put it away, and I've been looking up like all sorts of tattoo aftercare things and stuff like that, and that's the update for today. Are you guys, I know that there are a lot of different challenges out there that have kind of sprung up. Heart Breathings has the rough draft challenge, things like that. Are you guys doing something specific to sort of replace Nano? Like what's your whole thought process behind it? I'm not concerned with like all the drama that went down. That's in the past at this point, but what are you doing to still keep yourself engaged and excited? And you know, it was such a huge part of the writing community for so long that I hate to see that community building just gone. So what are you doing, I guess, to build your writing community still? I realized this morning today is Friday, September 19th, and I realized this morning that I didn't actually have a video ready. I have a couple of like vlog-ish elements, but it's been a couple of weeks since I was able to work on them because I ended up getting pulled in for training. That time that I would normally work on those and work on stories when I get home, I ended up having to take all of that schoolwork and work on it when I got home instead. And so I haven't really been able to write. And before Tuesday, which is the day that I do sprints with my buddies, it had been, I think, about a week and a half since I had actually been able to work in the story. So I'm still working through it. I have been able to get back into it. This week I've caught up. So I started out this semester not really feeling confident in the information that I was getting as well as with the assignments that I was doing, because I just hadn't been able to focus on them as well as I like to, and I just felt like I wasn't doing anything productive, and it was a whole spiral. However, since being able to get back into school, I'm completely done with my schoolwork after today. I do have one more assignment that's due on Sunday, but I'd like to finish it today. I have about an hour left of work, and I might be able to squeeze it in. I'd like to say that I will, but I make no guarantees. But that does mean that tomorrow I will be able to focus on the story more or less entirely. Obviously, I also have, work responsibilities, so I'll have to do those on top of it. But for the most part, as long as I get this assignment done, I will be able to actually do some good progress in that story, or in Project EW. I do have more videos that are coming out pretty soon, but I still have, like, I've been planning them. I just need to batch shoot them, and that means that I need to set aside time at home in order to do that, and it's difficult. And it's mostly difficult because my house The walls aren't necessarily paper thin, but the house is small enough that you can just hear everything that goes on throughout the entire house. You would hear all of my screaming children, and that's just not something I want you to hear. So I'm still working on creating a document where all of the individual scenes and perspectives are written down. I've got 3 columns and however many chapters in rows, and that's really working out. I do think that since it had been so long since I last worked on it, it was really difficult to get back into it, which I knew it probably would be, but also past Anna was like, you know what, she can do this later, and she regrets it. Future Anna, present Anna, me, the one who's working on it now, she's unhappy. So do yourself a favor to future you and just do the thing, okay? I am going to sign off for this vlog so that I can upload it tomorrow, though it's supposed to be up this morning, and I'm trying really hard to keep to a system. I feel good that only like 3 videos in that system broke, but it does feel good that I have mostly all of the things that I need to actually upload that video, minus this video. I'm gonna finish this up, and I might actually do a vlog over the weekend just so we have a fun, like, see what my typical weekend looks like in terms of how I finish work, how I get home and do all the things and survive life trying to do all the things that I'm trying to do. I guess this video is mostly me just like pretending that I know what I'm talking about the whole time. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching all of the videos and putting up with my utter nonsense. Hope to have something out for you guys soon, and until then, keep writing forward.